the concourse of humanity. Assalamu alaikum. May the peace and the mercies and the blessings of God Almighty be with one and all. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Welcome to this, a presentation of the Electric Mosque's teachings of Islam. Striving to bring Islam, the religion of peace, into your hearts, into your souls, through this medium of electricity, your television, YouTube, Facebook, around the world. This is part 2 of the acquirement of spiritual power. The universe, a source of divine inspiration. There is no way to the acquirement of spiritual power except by the inward illumination and enlightenment, which is the realization of spiritual principles, and those principles can only be realized by constant practice and application. This is very important. For that reason, we have put it on the screen so you may comprehend and understand. And these words are from Mind is the Master, the complete James Allen Treasury. Let's give the man his credit for his beautiful words. My beloved friends and families, the topic is on divine inspiration and how to acquire spiritual power. The universe is a source of divine inspiration. The universe has been fashioned by God in a way that it may become a source of spiritual inspiration for man. According to the Quran, it is the quality of tawassum. Tawassum. The Quran 1575 explains that it enables one to find inspiration in the universe. We go about life and we see nature in its splendor. We look at the grass, the sky, the sea, the earth, the waters, and we forget the teeming millions and millions of life that live in them, and we are not inspired by them at times. We look at the moon and the sun and the stars, and we take them for granted, and we just don't reflect upon the creation of the heavens and the earth and remember Allah standing, sitting and lying on your sides. So what is tawassum? It is the ability to understand the signs of nature. Sometimes I see the sun in a particular manner and I feel the sun is sending a message, or I see a cloud with a color and a design that will inspire humanity with a message. And when I said that out one time, a lady I know that I call a sister said, well, clouds form all kinds of designs at times, which is true too. But then some of us have that insight to see a message within the clouds. We can see a message in a tree. We can touch a tree and hug a tree and even communicate with this ancient, old, magnificent tree. It is the ability to understand the signs of nature. The word is tawassum. I will ask my operator to put this word on the screen 3 times. Tawassum, tawassum, tawassum. And it is the ability to understand the signs of nature. So tawassum, the ability to observe the signs of nature. Operator, please, you must do that for me. It is to observe the phenomena of the universe in order to draw lessons from them and receive spiritual nourishment from physical events. You know, sometimes I look at an ant, a little ant, a red ant, a black ant, and sometimes when we see them, we want to kill them, poor thing. Struggling for food for their family and to maintain their colony and their queen and their security. An ant will carry something bigger than itself. It's amazing, and heavier than itself and larger than itself. Learn from this. Learn from the hummingbird when it moves with its beautiful long beak and it pierces its long beak into the womb of the flower, to extract the nectar for its nourishment. And the bees do the same thing to extract the nectar to form honey, which is a medicine for you and I. So we must read nature, read the signs of nature, understand the beauty of it. I went by one of my guava tree and I was a bit upset with some of my guys, but I saw the beautiful message in it. Many of the guava fell to the ground. And I said, man, you caused the guava to spoil. But I said, what, you know what, it's not bad, because the insects will eat it, the ants, the lizards, and the other insects of God's creation will consume that. It is as if God is consuming it, because it is His creation. And this is how we must see the beauty in nature and the messages that the universe sends in message. Brothers and sisters, and I continue with part 2 of the acquirement of spiritual power. We were talking about the principle. So take the principle of divine love and quietly and diligently meditate upon it with the object of arriving at a thorough understanding of it. Bring its searching light to bear upon all our habits, our actions, your speech and intercourse with others, your every secret thought and desire. As you persevere on this course, the divine love will become more obvious, more perfectly revealed to you or to us. And our shortcomings will stand out in more and more vivid contrast, spurring you or me on to renewed endeavor. And having once caught a glimpse of the incomparable majesty of that imperishable principle, you will never again rest in your weakness. You will become sharp. Your selfishness, your imperfection, but will pursue that love until you have relinquished every discordant element and have brought yourself into perfect harmony with it. And that state of inward harmony, my beloved divine brothers and sisters, that state of inward harmony, the internal peace and harmony functioning with the physical, of the endocrine orchestra that keeps our body alive, our heart, our kidneys, our liver, our bladder, our gallbladder, our intestines, the endocrine orchestra, in league with peace and harmony, my beloved divine friends, is the joy that some of us can enjoy that is truly spiritual power. Take also other spiritual principles. Let us consider other spiritual principles, such as purity, compassion, and apply them in the same way. And so exacting is truth, you will be able to make no stay, no resting place until the inner garment of your soul is bereft of every stain. It will keep cleansing itself with a positive thought and love, compassion, purity. And your heart has become incapable of any hard, condemnatory, and pitiless impulse. Only so far as you understand, realize these principles will acquire spiritual power. And that power will be manifested in and through you in the form of increasing dispassion, patience, and equanimity. So beautiful, the message of how to acquire perpetual divine peace. This passion argues superior self-control. Sublime patience is the very hallmark of divine knowledge. And to retain an unbroken calm amid all duties and distractions of life marks off the main man of power. It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. Your neighbor say do this, that one say do that. You are influenced by others' view. It is easy in the world to live after other people's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after your own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. Let me repeat that. The great man is he who is in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude, being alone, to meditate, to reflect, to talk to the trees and the grass, and to think about the magnificence of the creation of God, lying, sitting, rolling on your sides, but to reflect upon the creation of the heavens and the earth. Some mystics hold that perfection in this passion is the source of that power by which miracles are performed. In other words, some mystics believe that being away and being alone in solitude, miracles can be performed. And truly, he who has gained such perfect control of all his interior forces, the so-called, it has no shock, however great, can for one moment unbalance him, but must be capable of guiding and directing those forces with a master hand. These kinds of control and power and mastery comes by reflection, meditation, and application of purity, compassion, goodness, and love into our hearts, into our body, and this is what we will exude. To grow in self-control, in patience, in equanimity, is to grow in strength and power. And you can only thus grow by focusing your consciousness upon a principle. As a child, after making many various attempts to walk unaided, falling down many times, succeeds in accomplishing this. So you must enter the way of power by first attempting to stand alone. Break away from the tyranny of custom, tradition, conventionality, and the opinions of others, until you succeed by walking lonely and erect amongst men. But you need the power of the positive thoughts and the goodness that will create harmony in the mind, the soul, and in the body. Rely upon your own judgment. Be true to your own conscience. Follow the light that is within you. All outward lights are so many everywhere we go. There will be those who will tell you that you are foolish, that your judgment is faulty, that your consciousness is all awry or confused, and that the light within you is darkness. But heed them not. If what they say is true, the sooner you, as a searcher for wisdom, find it out, the better. And you can only make the discovery by bringing your powers to the test. You develop that power, brothers and sisters. And you will put your power to the test over evil thoughts and influences. Therefore, pursue this course bravely. Your conscience is at last your own. And to follow it is to be a man. To follow the conscience of another is to be a slave. Do you want to be a man, free or wise, or do you want to be a slave? Or you must make mentors and masters of those who can help to make you a master. Stick close to them and learn. You will have many falls. We will suffer many wounds. We'll endure many buffetings for a time, but press on in faith, believing that sure and certain victory lies ahead. Search for a rock, a principle, and having found it, cling to it, get it under your feet, and stand erect upon it until it lasts, immovably fixed upon it. Yes, until it lasts, immovably fixed upon it, you succeed in defying the fury of the waves and storms of selfishness. For selfishness in any and every form is dissipation, weakness, death. Unselfishness in its spiritual aspect is conservation, power, life. As you grow in spiritual life and become established upon principle, you will become as beautiful and as unchangeable as those principles. Will taste of the sweetness of their immortal essence and will realize the eternal and indestructible nature of God within. In other words, you pull God within and you are going to be in control and you will not be able to be manipulated or used. Brothers and sisters, let us reflect upon the realization of senseless love, a continuation of overcoming selfish thoughts that bring us down to the lowest of the low, to the worst of the worst, so that we can now raise even higher beyond wisdom and knowledge and peace through the realization of selfless love. It is said that Michelangelo saw in every rock, he was one of the greatest sculptor and painter the world has ever seen. He saw in every rock of stone a thing of beauty awaiting the master hand to bring it into reality. In other words, he sees a stone, a piece of rock, but he is seeing something else. He's seeing a masterpiece that he will take his chisel and his hammer and create one of the finest work of art man has ever seen. In the very way, I have a close relative who wanted an opportunity. I took him to the west coast of the Marara, to the area of Crane, and I showed him this piece of land. And I asked him, tell me what you see. And he looked at the land and he said, I see bush, grass, some cows grazing, and he sees some birds flying. And then I realized he wants an opportunity for business, but he was not made for business. So I asked him, do you want to see, or do you want to know what I see? I said, okay, you've got to see the same thing. I said, no, I see a thriving business. I see a beautiful shed and tent to start with the walls and the sides. And I see lumber. I see various kinds of lumber. I see guys making concrete blocks. I see clay bricks. I see cement. I see a bridge across the the trench. And I see trucks lining up to buy sand and cement and bricks. And I see another section with locks and padlocks and steel and hardware for construction. This is what I see, first of all. Do you know what else I see? I see a building stretching from front to back with a parking spot for each room in a beautiful hotel or a motel, with a place at the back for entertainment that leads you into the sea wall. Do you understand what I see? Friends and families around the world, the electric Mosque teachings of Islam, YouTube, my eyes see differently from the normal eye. This is the blessing from God And the blessing I got from following the right teachers, making them my friends, sticking with them even in hardship or difficulties. I stay with my mentors and my teachers, and they're dead and gone. But I pray for them. I honor them, and I even ask them from the other world to bless me as I bless them. This is how the eye must be able to see the greatness. The heart must have its own eye, and each part of your limb must have its eye and its vocal cords with which it can speak. This is when we turn the righteous and the gracious and the greater man. Hidden deep in every human heart, though frequently covered up with a mass of hard and almost impenetrable accretions or things, in the spirit is the spirit of divine love. Whatever is there, whatever difficulty is there, whatever evil and negative has been built up, there is a spirit of divine love, whose holy and spotless essence is undying and eternal in there. No matter how you're bad, there is a piece of goodness in you. It is the truth in man. It is that which belongs to the Supreme, the spark of God, even in the heart of the minions of evil, of the most evil of evil, that which is real and immortal. All else changes and passes away. This alone is permanent and imperishable. That gift, that spark of God in our soul and in our hearts. And to realize this love by ceaseless diligence in the practice of the highest righteousness, to live in it and to become fully conscious in it, is to enter into immortality here and now, to live forever. For those whom you have inspired, they will remember you, and their children and their children's children will be told about you, and they will have you in their hearts forever, and they will worship and honor you and pray to God to care for you. Because you become immortal, you cannot die, and you have to do that now. Enter into the realm of immortality through your beautiful thoughts, and here and now is to become one with root, one with God, one with the central heart of all things, and to know our own divine and eternal nature. Oh, my beloved divine friends and family, to reach this love, to understand and experience it, one must work with great persistency and diligence upon his heart and mind. It does not come by magic. This is what I started in part 1. I told you, yes, prayers, but you must apply yourself. You must sacrifice. And you must think and attract good as you send out good. The diligence upon the heart and the mind must ever renew our patience, and we must keep strong in our faith. But there will be much to remove, much to cleanse, much to accomplish before the divine image is revealed in all its glorious beauty. We have to cleanse the inside. So if we have evil tendencies and thoughts, and as soon as we go to the good, we find some difficulty, we got to be persistent, persistency, and we have to cleanse that darkness, that evil that is lying in our heart. He who strives to reach and to accomplish the divine will be tried to the very uttermost. Oh yes, Gautama Buddha in his meditations had great difficulties and was attacked by the jinns and the evil forces around as he was meditating upon righteousness and truth. Prophet Muhammad was tempted, and he was beaten and hurt to move away. His families killed, and many of his own families, his neighbors, his friends wanted to murder him. You will be tried, brothers and sisters, and this is absolutely necessary. Trial by nature, trial by man, trial by God. For how else could one acquire that sublime patience without which there is no real wisdom? It does not come by magic. One has to study, one has to apply, one has to pray, one has to meditate, one has to read. As he proceeds, all his work will seem to be futile, and his efforts appear to be thrown away. You will feel failure. You will see mockery. You will see people teasing you. You see people throwing remarks at you, as they've done to all the seers, the saints, the sages, the imams, the pundits. They all, at some time or the other, have been manipulated, tricked upon, and called names. Now and then, a hasty touch will mar his image, and perhaps when his imaginings, certain people are trying to hurt you, your image might get hurt, and perhaps when he imagines his work is almost completed, he will find at about the end what he imagined to be beautiful, that divine, that beautiful form of divine love utterly destroyed. And he must begin again with his past bitter experience to guide and help him. Because when he thinks he has achieved that love, that greatness, it's gotten destroyed. You want to give up. But he will start again, and with that experience it will become easier. But he who has resolutely set himself to realize the highest recognizes no such thing as defeat. He who has resolutely set himself to realize the highest recognizes no such thing as defeat. We must keep going. The same for business, the same with life, the same with self-development, the same with greatness. All failures are apparent, not real. Every slip, every fall, every return to selfishness is a lesson learned. Don't go back to selfishness. Start all over if you fail to go for greatness. An experience gained from which a golden grain of wisdom is extracted, helping the striver toward the accomplishment of his lofty object. To recognize is to enter the way that leads unmistakably toward the divine. And the failings of one who thus recognizes are so many dead leaves upon which he rises, as upon stepping stones to higher things. Once come to regard to your failings, your record and sufferings are so many voices telling you plainly where you are weak and faulty, where you fall below the truth and the divine. You will then begin to ceaselessly watch yourself, and every slip, every pang of pain will show you where you are to set to work and what you have to remove out of your heart in order to bring it nearer to likeness of the divine. Hindus call it taqwa, the Muslim calls it taqwa, the Hindu calls it nirvana. Nearness of the divine, nearness to perfect love. As you proceed day by day, detaching yourself more and more from the dead leaves, from the inward selfishness, the love that is selfless will gradually become revealed to you. And when you're growing patient and calm, when your petulances, tempers, and irritabilities are passing away from you, and the more powerful lusts and prejudices seem to dominate and enslave you, then you will know that the divine is awakening within you. The temptations are coming, that you are drawing near to the eternal heart. When these evil are coming, that you are not far from that selfless love, the possession of which is peace and immortality, life forever. Divine love is distinguished from human loves in this supremely important particular. It is free from partiality, and with sacrifice and good we would have touched the divine, dearest brothers and sisters. May the peace and the mercies and the blessings of the Creator, Lord God of the world, be with you. Until next time, for part 3 of the realization of selfless love and the acquirement of spiritual power.